Electronics Limited. Accompanied with him is Dr. Ashok A. Sonkasare, Deputy Advisor, Science and Technology and Digital Communications, Niti Aayog, Government of India. We also have with us Shri S.K. Shaw, Group Manager, NCC BM Ballabgarh, and Dr. Mriganshu Guha, Head Tata Steel Limited, Advanced Materials Research Center and Technology Intelligence, Chennai. And with them, we have our Professor Venugopal Achanta, Director, CSIR-NPL. To commence today's event, I humbly request our esteemed dignitaries to kindly proceed towards the dais. I request our Director, NPL, to kindly accompany our esteemed dignitaries to the dais. Can we have a huge round of applause for our esteemed dignitaries? I welcome you all on the dais. On the dais, we have Shri Chetan Prakash Jain, Joint Secretary and Financial Advisor in Department of Scientific and Industrial Research and CSIR, Chairman and Managing Director, Central Electronics Limited, who has kindly consented to be the chief guest for today's event. We have Dr. Ashok A. Sonkasare, Deputy Advisor, Science and Technology and Digital Communications, Niti Aayog, Government of India, to grace this occasion as our guest of honor. We also have with us Shri S.K. Shaw, Group Manager, NCC BM Ballabgarh, as our eminent guest speaker for today, and Dr. Mriganshu Guha, Head Tata Steel Limited, Advanced Materials Research Center and Technology Intelligence, Chennai, as our respected guest speaker. I welcome you all on the dais. Can we have a huge round of applause? Every great event starts with an idea, but it's the execution that truly makes it a memorable one. And indeed, today is going to be a very memorable and enriching day for all of us. After the commendable inaugural of 1 week, 1 lab campaign, I, Dr. Sharon Jyotika Paul, on behalf of the CSIR-NPL fraternity, extend a warm welcome to one and all on this startup MSME industry meet, which is in succession of the events in this campaign. It is an absolute honor for us to have amongst us such distinguished personalities. We are gathered here today to celebrate the spirit of entrepreneurship, innovation, and collaboration. This is a place where ideas can flourish, connections can be made, and dreams can become reality. This is an exciting opportunity to bring together aspiring entrepreneurs, seasoned business professionals, and stakeholders whom NPL has helped, connected, or provided technological support, consultancy, or services. The goal of this event is also to provide industries a platform where they will not only showcase their services and technologies, but also talk about NPL's great contribution to their endeavors. We have a diverse group of industries here today. We have 30 to 35 industries participating, and each one has something unique to offer, and we are very excited to hear from them. Throughout this event, we have a series of presentations, panel discussions, and networking opportunities planned for you. Without further ado, let's get started with a productive and inspiring time today. Before we begin today's program, we would like to acknowledge the presence of our esteemed dignitaries by welcoming them with a token of delight and respect. I request the students to kindly come forward. We are privileged to welcome Shri Chetan Prakash Jain with us today, whose contribution to the field has been instrumental in shaping the scientific and industrial research in CSIR. We welcome you, sir. Thank you, sir. We are honored to welcome Dr. Ashok A. Sonkosare, who has made significant strides in Niti Aayog. We welcome you, sir. Thank you, sir. It is a great pleasure to welcome Shri S.K. Shaw, who is a significant part, and we thank him for gracing this occasion. We welcome you, sir. It is an honor to welcome Dr. Mriganshu Guha, who is an indispensable part of today's event. We welcome you, sir. Thank you, sir. We have distinguished guests who have taken their time out of their busy schedules to be here with us, and we are truly grateful for their presence. I also extend a warm welcome to the dignified industrialists, esteemed industry leaders, accomplished entrepreneurs, revered scientists, media partners, and of course, our dear researchers. Now, I humbly request our director, CSIR-NPL, Professor Venugopal Achanta, to kindly come up and accord a ceremonial welcome to our venerated guests and this gathering.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you. So you cover a lot of topics so that my own time reduces and my, right. So, Sri Chetan Jain, Dr. Ashok, Dr. Guha, and Sri Shah. So thank you for accepting our invitation and coming here. So as you already heard, this is a 1 week, 1 lab program. This was, idea was initiated by our Honorable Minister, Dr. Jitendra Singh, who is the Vice President of CSIR, the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, where industrial research is one of the primary targets, and our industry colleagues, the media partners who are here, would like to welcome on behalf of NPL family. This NPL, briefly, this is a 5-day event. Yesterday we had the formal inauguration of the 5-day event, and today is the inaugural of the 3-day event where we'll be interacting with the industry over the next 3 years. So, sorry, not 3 days. We have a pavilion, industry pavilion, which is outside. So we'll have an inauguration of that at the end of this program, where the stalls are kept to showcase NPL technologies, as well as our partners and other industries who have wanted to showcase their products and who came forward to put up their stalls. Right. So NPL is the National Metrology Institute of the country. One institute per country is designated as NMI, and we are the National Metrology Institute. Our primary mandate is to provide traceability to standards. Right. So if you go to a shopkeeper, are we getting the right quantity and quality of material? How do we test that? So there is a legal metrology framework which gets traceable up to the facilities which we set up and maintain at NPL. So that way, for the quality infrastructure point of view, NMI is at the top of the pyramid. Then comes the standards bodies like the BIS in India, Bureau of Indian Standards. Then we have regional reference standard laboratories under the legal metrology. Then we have the NABL accredited laboratories. Right. So as I mentioned, being part of the CSIR system, Industry Connect is very, very important activity at NPL and across all the CSIR laboratories. So just to briefly say a few highlights. For example, during COVID time, NPL scientists have helped many startups to fine-tune their equipment. For example, air purifiers or detecting some particles or something like that, right? So these people were handheld. Their products were improved by continuous monitoring and helping them out in redesigning where necessary and this is how the hand-holding happens. We also take service projects, technical service projects, what we call, from industries to address very specific problems to, for example, synthesizing or developing a process for making a new material to translating some of the lab to product level. So these are the things which we take at NPL. So one, the CMD of CEL, in his role as the CMD of CEL, Chetanji is here with us. We all know in the CSR family that he is also our financial advisor. So CEL has very interesting connect with NPL. Somehow, even if I look at the history or about CEL, this is all masked, right? But the fact is that CEL was formed in 1974. NPL initiated the dialogue with Government of India and recommended, pushed that CEL be established as a production partner, right, for the materials, especially at that time ferrite-based materials for electronics. And CEL has grown, diversified. They are more known for solar cell production and their activities in solar cell. But these are humble connection with CEL. So we also have similar connection with other industries. For example, NABL itself was incubated at NPL before it went into the QCI mold. So this is, I mean, CEL example I took up because this is the first and, to my knowledge, only public sector undertaking which came out, spun off from a CSIR laboratory in the country. Right? So we have a lot more to do than what we have achieved. So we have continuous R&D which goes on in materials. So advanced materials, Dr. Dakate is here, so he heads the carbon and advanced materials division. So there are lots of materials which are researched upon, processes developed. So we need to identify right industry partners so that we can take this forward and convert them into products. Right. We also have Dr. Sengar with us here in the audience. So she has been pushing, like last 2 years, I know she has been trying to get MSME on board, MSME ministry on board, but then there is always a resistance. So that way, like, we want to take this opportunity which our honorable minister has given us as a challenge or as an idea to get along with our stakeholders, bring them together. So this is opportunity for us. Next 3 days, we would like to use this to connect to the micro MSMEs as well as micro and medium small scale industries. Right. So I welcome you all once again, and I look forward to having a 3-day successful event where we could connect. The idea is not to have this and then forget. At the end of each day, we have panel discussions where we would like to get a white paper or some concrete action points which we should take up for the future. So I really look forward to have your active participation, suggestions, comments, criticisms, everything will be taken positively, and we really look forward to your participation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for doing the honors and also precisely highlighting the role NPL is playing in dissemination of its innovative technology. We have amongst us a reputed personality as a guest speaker, Dr. Mriganshu Guha. He is presently the head, Tata Steel Advanced Materials Research Center and Technology Intelligence, Tata Steel Limited. Dr. Guha leads and manages Tata Steel's technology entrepreneurship initiatives in advanced materials domain. Dr. Guha is adept at identifying emerging technology, ideas, and nurture it for commercial application through collaborative route with multiple stakeholders using a center of expertise model. He has been a principal researcher at Tata Steel Limited, a chemical engineer at Indian Oil Corporation Limited. He started his career as a researcher at Tata Steel Limited. He is BTech from University of Calcutta, MTech from IIT Kharagpur in chemical engineering, and PGDM from XLRI Jamshedpur with marketing and finance majors. He holds expertise in process metallurgy, material science, numerical modeling, project and program management, quality management, financial accounting, and strategic marketing. Now, I humbly request Dr. Mriganshu Guha, Head Tata Steel Limited, Advanced Material Research Center and Technology Intelligence, Chennai, to kindly come up and share your valuable expertise with us.
Thank you for the nice introduction, Professor Venugopal, Sri Shaw, Sri Jain, Dr. Ashok, and the august gathering present here inside this auditorium today. I think it's a moment of pride and privilege for me to be representing Tata Steel today here on the dais on this event of industry meet organized by NPL as part of 1 Week 1 Lab program. I also thank my colleague Dr. Pratik Swarup Das, who is heading our coal and coke research group and environment research group back in our corporate R&D center in Tata Steel. Actually, he was supposed to be here present today, but due to some pressing engagement, he could not come. So he requested me to be here, and I thank him for giving me this opportunity to be present here. As explained by Professor Venugopal, and as you all know, so NPL is one of the prestigious and premier institute within India, and there is long history of its association with industry, irrespective of its size, whether it is large industries, MSMEs, and recently even startups. In fact, the history of association of CSIR labs with groups of Tata Group also dates back a long time back. I think during the era of Mr. J.R.D. Tata. And also Tata Steel, as you all know, we are a century-old company, one of the most oldest and prominent companies from the house of Tata. And in fact, in our past journey of 100 years, so we have transformed a lot. So basically, from being a conventional player in iron and steel, so slowly we are trying to establish ourselves as a player in material domain. So, and there are many trigger points for this. And I think the two important trigger points for this transformation journey are the cyclicality of steel businesses due to steel being a commodity material and also due to the global exposure it faces. And second is the continuously changing landscape of technology, especially in materials and its application domain, and especially with the emergence of advanced material. So in fact, if I look back at history of our corporate R&D center, I think up to 2010 or so, we are heavily focused on research in conventional iron and steel domain. But slowly we started realizing the changing landscape, and that is the time when maybe after 2010 or so, we started exploring other advanced material and started exploring or even started expanding our collaboration network. So in fact, in 2010, as you all know, the wonder material graphene, it received the Nobel Prize, and after it caught attention of the technology and scientific community. So that is the time when we, from Tata Steel, we also thought that, okay, we also need to work on this. And graphene was it is still a material which has immense use in multiple industries, and in fact within steel industries also there are several good examples which where graphene can be put to use. So that is the time when we started expanding our journey in other material domain beyond steel. And I think by 2015-16 we developed our own patented process of graphene, and in fact in 2016 for the first time we created a business vertical in the name of graphene business, which is something new, completely different from our conventional iron and steel business. Of course, we ran it for a few years, just like an entrepreneurial initiative within Tata Steel. And so graphene was the, I think that's the starting point, but with time to come, then we slowly diversified into composite businesses. And in 2021, we also started our medical material businesses, focusing advanced ceramics, and also in vitro medical devices. And right today, all these three business verticals have been conglomerated or integrated on a separate business vertical called new material business. And around the time this graphene business came into existence, so we also opened up this Advanced Material Research Center, which I'm currently heading. So we opened up a center at 2 different locations. One is at IIT Madras Research Park, and second one is at a DST-funded autonomous center called Center for Nano and Soft Matter Science, which is at Bangalore. And during our starting days, we worked extensively on graphene, the subject of graphene, right from different synthesis routes to how do we improve the properties of graphene, and also exploring various application domain of graphene. And that has helped immensely our graphene business team. And slowly, as our business focus evolved, as I mentioned, we started diversifying into composites and medical materials. So from our Advanced Material Research Center, we also started supporting them. However, parallelly, our corporate R&D team, they also realized that, okay, it's time that, we should diversify into other domains. And especially there are multiple, intermediate products and even byproducts of a steel plant, which can have, innovative application. And sometime in 2017 and 18, we forged this collaboration with NPL. So my friend, Dr. Pratik, he collaborated with Dr. Dhakate from Advanced Carbon Products Group of NPL, and they have worked immensely on how do we look into value-added product from coal tar. Now, coal tar is a byproduct of steel plant. And along with Dr. Dhakate, Dr. Bhanu Pratap, and many of the scientists from NPL, so they have developed extensively 2 different products. One is, I think, mesocarbon microbead, which has a huge application in battery fields, and second one is on carbon foam. So these are 2 unique products which they made from coal tar, through coal tar pitch route, however. And our R&D team, they have benefited a lot, and they are now using the learnings developed through these collaboration activities, and they are trying to come up with multiple new materials. So they have learned how to, synthesize or how to add value to these products. So that is one part of our collaboration with NPL. And in fact, from Tata Steel, we have created multiple other initiatives to support all these, other activities, parallel activities to our conventional business streams. And I would like to mention 2 more additional things here. One is we created a group called Alliances, whose role is to look into the I think from a holistic approach, the engagement of Tata Steel with its stakeholders, because stakeholder management is one of our key in our history of past 100 years and more. So that team particularly looks into how do we engage with various stakeholders, whether it is academic institutes, whether it is CSIR labs, whether it is government bodies and so on. And the second group is called Venture, and their role is that whenever we are coming up with some interesting products, in-house R&D, how do we see that those products are actually going to commercial scale-ups? Because there was a gap, we realized, because oftentimes it used to happen that maybe from our R&D center we used to come up with good products, but then they never used to see the light of the day. They did not have someone who would handle them all the way up to go to market. So this venture team was mandated to do that particular thing. And in fact, one good example which has come up in last, I think, 3 or 4 years is a product called Dhurbi Gold. So I think many of you might know, or even if you do not know, you can Google it. You can, it's a unique product made out of our steel plant slag, which is just a waste or byproduct for us. And we have made a soil conditioner out of it. And we have worked extensively with IARI. I think that's the next door neighbor to NPL. And now that product is commercialized. So you can also order, Dhurbi Gold from even Amazon platform. And also we are selling it from Tata Steel's platform. So I think these are some unique initiatives, and there are many more initiatives from Tata Steel we are trying to take to engage with our stakeholders, whether it is industry, academia, or research centers like CSIR. In fact, to mention, last year from our alliances team, we also signed a umbrella MOU with CSIR labs, and the focus there is to work on various strategic technology partnership areas which are relevant for Tata Steel, especially carbon capture, inhalation, hydrogen, then coating, energy, and even medical material. And thought process is that we should come up with many first of the kind of first in the world kind of technologies, and which should have global impact not only on industry but on society and on the overall innovation ecosystem as a whole. So I think to sum up, I think we are at a very interesting juncture of time. I think it would not be a wrong thing if I say that we are kind of at a technology renaissance kind of, where the entire ecosystem, including Government of India, is supporting all these initiatives. And on this platform, on behalf of Tata Steel, I only wish that, and I only promise that from Tata Steel, we would look forward to much stronger and deeper engagement with NPL, other CSIR labs, and other ecosystem partners in this technology transformation journey of India. So thank you. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words, and also for telling us how Tata Steel Limited is transforming and expanding the collaborative route. And also it was very fascinating to know how graphene has been used into diversified areas, and not only restricted to graphene, but also the use of the new materials that are being designed and developed in CSIR-NPL. Thank you, sir, for sharing it. We have amongst us yet another proficient guest speaker, Shri S.K. Shaw. He is a group manager and program leader, certified reference materials. He is a BTech in chemical engineering. He has over 15 years of rich experience in the field of process and productivity, energy management, and CRM development. He has completed 25 projects related to cement plants, energy audit study, process diagnostic study, and safety audit, and much more, and various international assignments as well. He is known for the development of 18 Indian certified reference materials as Bharatiya Nirdeshak Dravya. Shri S.K. Shaw is a certified energy auditor from Bureau of Energy Efficiency, Government of India, a certified process performance engineer from Holcim, Switzerland. He has worked with Ambuja Cements Limited. He has 15 publications and has delivered presentations in national and international conferences and seminars. He is a member of BIS Committee, PCD 72 RAMCO. Now I humbly request Shri S.K. Shaw, Group Manager, NCC-BM Ballabgarh, to kindly shed light on this industry meet with his inspiring words.
So thank you for nice introduction. Honorable Chief Guest, Sri Chetan Jain Sir, Joint Secretary, CSIR. Guest of Honor, Dr. Ashok Sir, Deputy Advisor, Niti Ayog. Professor Venugopal Sir, Director, NPL. Dr. Guha, eminent scientist, and all distinguished member of the industry, government official invitees, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to all. I am S.K. Shaw, representing National Council for Cement and Building Material. First of all, thanks to CSIR-NPL for giving us the opportunity to address the gathering and speak about the role of BND for the growth of nation. So basically, National Council for Cement and Building Material, a premier research, development, innovation institution, is equipped with multidisciplinary expertise coupled with state-of-the-art testing and evaluation facility. NCB is the premier body under the administrative control of Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, for technology development, transfer, continuing education, industrial services for cement and building material. NCB area work span over the entire spectrum of cement manufacturing uses, starting with geological exploration of the raw materials through the processes, machineries, and the manufacturing aspects. energy and environment consideration to the final utilization of material in actual construction, condition monitoring, and rehabilitation of building and structures. Cement and construction industry play a vital role in the growth of and economic development of our country because of its strong linkage to the other sectors such as infrastructure, housing, transportation, steel, refinery, fertilizer, and power. It is playing a vital role in implementing the various other flagship schemes of Government of India like Bharatmala, Housing for All, Smart Cities, Concrete Highways, Dedicated Freight Corridors, Inland Waterways. In addition to that, the other initiative for infrastructure development like PM Gati Shakti, National Master Plan for Multimodal Connectivity. So as you are aware that in the present scenario of globalization of the economy, globally acceptable measurements are required where the availability of reference material becomes crucial for universal acceptance of products and test report. And recently, Union Minister Shri Piyush Goyal ji said that the India must have its own quality standard for every product and ask industry to align with the world standard. Also, he said that the India needs to become a quality conscious nation and adopt quality as an integral part of the process. So, in view of that, in 2018, CSIR-NPL and NCB have shown interest in working together for providing the traceable reference material in the field of cement and building material for making such CRMs in India which are traceable to SI units under the name of Bharatiya Nirdesak Dravya. Since NCCBM has developed 18 Bharatiya Nirdesak Dravya in the area of cement and building material in collaboration with NMI of India towards the clarion call of our Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji on the way to making self-reliant India. And it is an indigenous product which is as equivalent to international product like NIST CRM, and it's substituting the importing CRMs and saving the foreign exchange. And this BND will play a big role in boosting of exports as well as manufacturing as import to various cement plants and construction industry to ensure the quality of their products. And NCB is equipped with advanced laboratory infrastructure facility, dedicated scientists, engineer, and shall strive to meet its responsibility, commitment to the nation, society, and industry at large. I would like to mention that NCB current research and innovation projects are well aligned to the national and global priorities. Now I would like to brief about the BMD journey with short presentation. This will help more understandable to the audience. So basically NCB, we work across the value chain of the cement construction industry, and we have total 6 technical centers, and we serve the industry for their different needs. And our stakeholders are Government of India, regulatory body, central and state government organizations, cement industry, construction industry, other building material industry, PSUs, laboratory, overseas industry. So as we know that cement and steel is a vital input in nation building, and construction is at the core of development and cement is at the core of construction. So when we see the Indian cement industry, so it is accounting for 1.2% of the GDP. And India is the second largest cement producer in the world after China. And the present installed capacity is 590 million tons per annum, where we are producing 360 million tons per annum. And when we see the total number of cement plants, total 334 cement plants are available in India, where 149 are integrated plants, 117 are grinding units, and 5 are clinkerization unit. And in India, if we see the laboratory, total 1300 laboratories are there, where the cement and construction industry materials are being checked on routine basis. So coming to the services of NCCBM in the area of reference material producer. NCB is the premier body in the country as a RMP provider in the area of cement and building material, and it is accredited as per 17034. NCB started development of CRM since 1990. So far, 79 types of CRMs have been developed in the area of building materials. In addition to that, we have developed 18 number of Bharatiya Nirdesak Dravya in collaboration with NMI of India. So NCB CRMs are being used in India by almost all the cement research divisions, cement plants laboratory, commercial laboratory, educational institute, and we have supplied our CRMs, BMD, to the SAARC countries, African countries, Gulf country. And our CRMs have been quoted in IS 4031, IS 1727 and IS 4031 Part 15. So it is mandatory for all the industry to take the samples from us, and they to in daily basis they have to check their quality check. So application of CRMs is basically calibration of the instrument, then method validation, monitoring the performance. So this is the overall development planning, how we are developing the BND, CRMs, that is material selections, then verification of the material, then homogeneity test, stability test, characterization, validation through the NMI to consider as a BND. So these are the key equipments which are being used in the cement industry for calibration of the equipment like blend apparatus, sieve, UV spectrophotometer, bomb calorimeter, flame photometers. And basically with the standard CRS, we are using to establish the correction factors for calculating the blend apparatus performance. Now, when we see the global scenario of the reference material producer, so basically in the global scenario, reference material of the various commodities such as cement, rocks, semi-processed ores, food, drugs, and many more are being produced by the several organizations. And the topmost contributors are NIST, China reference material, European reference material, Thailand reference material. And India are majorly dependent on the imported CRMs. And since 2018 onwards, NMI of India has taken a step forward for development of CRM named as BMD in the various commodities like cement, water, petroleum, food, etc. Now coming to the Bharti Nidesha Dev, the journey, NCB is the first organization in the country to get the BND marking for cement reference material, and the first batch of NCB BND was released by Honorable Minister Dr. Harshvardhan on 16 August 2018. Then similarly in 2021, Honorable Prime Minister of India dedicated to the nation our 4 BNDs, and after that the supply of the BND has been increased drastically to the international market. Then similarly in 2022, Dr. Jitendra Singh, Honorable Minister, has released two BND in the area of cement and building materials. So as on date, total 18 BNDs are available, and our end users are cement plants, building construction laboratory, R&D organization, government organization, educational institute. In addition to that, the application of reference material that is being used by the FQA lab for their quality management. So these are the major projects like CPWD housing projects, MCDB various projects, then convention center, IIC, ITPO. So field quality assurance team have established their laboratory to check the quality of the cements, quality of cement with the standard reference material for setup of these big projects. So these are the big projects which are being set up, and our NCB engineers were there to ensure the quality of the buildings by verifying the quality of the products. Now, recently, Bureau of Indian Standard, they have wrote a letter to all the industry, all the laboratories to promote the BND, rather importing the material from the NIST, the China reference material. So they are giving thrust to use the BND to all the industry, all the laboratory, but still it is not mandatory by them. They are promoting the BNDs as on date. And these are our new BND which are pipeline, which are expected to be developed by this year. Now coming to the conclusion, it boosts the Make in India program and vocal for local, its replacement of the imported CRMs and saving the foreign exchange, it fulfill the mission and vision of our Honorable Prime Minister towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. And finally, we need the support from the NMI of India to take up the matter with the Ministry of Consumer Affairs for implementation and promotion of this indigenous product, as well as incorporation of BND in the relevant IS codes. So thank you, and thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for telling us the role and importance of BND for the growth of cement and construction industry, and also sharing the global scenario. It was very informative. Thank you so much. I am excited to introduce you all to our guest of honor, Dr. Ashok A. Sonkosare. Dr. Ashok A. Sonkusare is a physicist. He did his master's degree in physics with specialization in solid-state physics and digital electronics from Nagpur University, Nagpur. He completed his doctorate degree from University of Hull, United Kingdom. He worked in CSIR Research Laboratory, NEERI, Nagpur for 3 years as a faculty. In 1997, he joined Planning Commission as Senior Research Officer, Natural Science. Since then, he is working in Planning Commission and Niti Aayog. Dr. Sonkusare is presently the Deputy Advisor of Science and Technology and Digital Communication. His main responsibilities are examination and appraisal of R&D projects, scientific ministries, and in preparation of vision document and strategy plan for science and technology sector, preparing a roadmap for Make in India in body armor mechanism for ranking and rating of national laboratories, mechanism to provide flexibilities to scientific departments in financial and people managements, and standardization of construction operations and maintenance of ropeways in India, and much more. He is a nodal officer for improving India's ranking in Global Innovation Index, launching of India Innovation Index, National Data Sharing and Accessibility Policy, NDSAP, Methanol Economy, Consultation Group of Science and Technology, sunrise sectors such as semiconductor and space economy sector. Dr. Sonkusare is a member of nearly 15 technical and advisory committee of the scientific ministries and departments. He published 3 scientific papers and 2 articles on transforming innovative research into profitable technology, and reforms and action points to strengthen science, technology, and innovation ecosystem in India. Now, I humbly invite our guest of honor, Dr. Ashok A. Sonkusare, to come up and share your valuable insights with us.
So, good morning to all the guests on the dais and the other participants of this particular meet. First of all, Niti Aayog recognizes that we can say that I convey Niti Aayog is actually appreciate the idea of 1 week, 1 lab. And this is the thought of our visionary science leader. So first of all, and in various forum, Niti Aayog in various forum mention about our scientists are very brilliant in doing their research work, but they are very weak in showcasing their research output. This platform will have an excellent opportunity to scientists to showcase their contribution, how they are benefiting or how they are helping the startups, SMEs and industries, and also contribute to the society as a whole. I must say that each CSIR lab should focus their 80% of R&D on its core area and 20% R&D on solving the social issues. Unless we do some research in social issues, our output is not visible to the general public. That is why I am saying that you should focus at least 20% of your R&D in the social issues. As we all aware that the Honorable Prime Minister has given a free hand to the scientist by saying that scientists should concentrate on their research and don't bother about the administrative issues. And I remember that when he took over as a Prime Minister, he called near about 25 to 30 eminent scientists of the country and listened carefully about the issues which hamper the growth of science and technology in the country. And he suggested some few points. he says that ki scientific ministry and department should have a different financial and people management rules because of their nature of work. So he actually thought that ki we should provide the flexibility to the scientific department in people management as well as the financial management. And he directed the NITI Aayog to take a lead and develop a mechanism how we can provide the flexibility to the scientific department in these financial and people management issues. We consulted with all the scientific secretaries and come out with the mechanism, and the reports were submitted to the to DST, being a nodal agency for the research and development in the country. And implementation is going on now. The second thing he recommended that we should break the silos. We are working in silos now. The research organization, industry, and the university, academia, they should work together. Then he suggested we should also measure the performance of the national laboratories by ranking and rating these national laboratories to infuse the competition among themselves. So this is he has suggested. Third thing he suggested that we are good in our academic research, but how to convert that academic research into the product, we are very weak in that particular area. So he wants the commercialization of the indigenous technology should also in the priority list. Third thing he mentioned about scientists should take the social challenges and solve them with the S&T intervention. I am therefore urging you all to implement all these suggestions of Prime Minister in true spirit. I must say here the industry meet is a very appropriate platform to discuss what are the gap areas, what are the challenges, future cooperation with startups and our SMEs. Today startups are mushrooming like anything in our country. We are the third among the global. We are in the third places. So today startups are facing challenges in working capital. They are not able to compete with the established industries, and they are having stringent condition, particularly eligibility conditions such as annual turnover, working capital, financial strength, certain year of experience. Because of that, they are not able to flourish. So these are the challenges of the startups in the country. So what the CSIR and the other laboratories can help us in promoting the startup. One is each lab should incubate the startup in their campus itself. Number two, provide them access to the lab facilities. Provide them mentorship to convert their innovative idea into the commercial viable technologies. Provide the opportunities to the student to become an entrepreneur, which would help them. In short, the lab should provide a startup with access to funding, mentoring, and the R&D supports. So with these suggestions, I think we will be able to help or promote startup in our country. Regarding the SMEs, SMEs are contributing significantly to the growth of our country through employment generation, investment, and export, and also contribute for poverty reduction. So SME provide a backward and forward linkages to the industry sector as a whole of the economy. However, the SMEs are also facing some challenges. They are also not able to compete with the market due to inadequate R&D and innovation and the lack of professionalism. So in these two areas, our CSIR lab should help them. The science and technology innovation are more and more important in entire SME areas spectrum. For small scale industry, technology is a crucial factor for productivity and quality, whereas the medium scale industry, technology is a crucial factor for growth and competitiveness. So what the CSR can do for SME sector? The lab should closely interact with the SMEs and promote their innovation in SME sector and help them in innovation in process, product and packaging. We can help them in three to develop the process, product and packaging. Provide them institutional support for encouraging innovation. Provide innovators special support, both technical as well as the financial. Also create the IPR awareness among the SMEs. They are very weak in this. So we should help them. And finally, provide them S&T tool for technology upgradation, training, skilling and marketing. In this area, our laboratory can help them. What about the industry? How the industry can help us? Industry should come forward to set up industries in the vicinity of the villages, so that cluster of villages, so that it will generate lot of employment in rural areas and also restrict the flow of migration of people from rural to urban. So industry sectors should do that. They should have a industry in the vicinity of the cluster of village. Next thing is the industry should also increase the investment in R&D, which is at present very, very low as compared to the developed nation. We are spending, that means the government is spending near about 70% or 60 to 70%, and the private sector in India is only 30%, 30 to 40%. But in developed country, it is reverse. Industry sector is budgeting, that means the industry is supporting near about 70% of the R&D, and only public sector is funding 30%. So we need to think over it, because the industry sector, they need to invest in R&D to increase their annual turnover. Industry should also provide the price and purchase preference to the indigenously developed product and technologies to promote Make in India. What is happening today? There is a PMA policy architecture, but it is not implemented properly. So we should provide them, that means we should provide the indigenous product a preferential market, that they should provide the price as well as the preferential to this indigenous technology, so that we can develop more and more indigenous product. Industry should also envisage scouting of indigenous developed technology. Industry should look around what are the technology available in the scientific ministries or scientific department or national laboratories, and they should fund for their value addition, because whatever the technology is coming from the CSIR lab, they are in the raw stage. Unless you do some value addition in that particular product, it will not be marketable. So the industry should fund this value addition center and make the product marketable, and also further sophistication in the product to compete in the global market. They should also value add and do the sophisticated work there to make the globally competitive product. So now we are talking about the breaking in silos, how we can break the silos and strengthen our collaboration. I will read out. I don't want to miss any important point here. Identify and initiate the multi-agency S&T mission. It is the age of now interdisciplinary research. If you take the example of cancer research, how many people are needs to be there? You need physicist, you need biologist, you need chemist, you need mechanical engineer, you need all sort of instrumentation engineers. So unless we do collective research, it will not be possible to take a holistic view on cancer research. So it is the age of interdisciplinary research. So we should work together by identifying and initiate the multi-agency S&T vision. I remember CSR has earlier used to take network project and the supra-institutional project. So I think this is very good idea. We should collectively do the research. Whatever, you should identify the mission first, what needs to be done, and then take the human resources from various laboratories and work on that. Second thing, we should sign the MOUs between S&T department, lab with the universities to facilitate collaborative and interdisciplinary research. Create a mechanism for mobility of scientists from R&D lab, academic institution to the industry and vice versa. Unless we do that, unless we do the mobility, we will not be able to, what is the requirement of industry, what they require. Unless they come over here or the scientists, they come over there, it will not be possible to, what is the requirement, industrial requirement. They are importing lot of technologies. If we map whatever the technology they are importing, we can work focusedly, concentrated effort should be there to make some effort and do some R&D so that we can develop that technology indigenously. Next thing, we should also create a common platform or portal for facilitating available in the national laboratories and academic institutions for sharing them. I think DST has already done it. Shriman portal is already there, which include all the facility, whatever the facilities are available in the national laboratories that can be shared with all the research community. Shriman portal. Also the user ministry to keep some % of their budget for developing socially relevant technology in their respective sector. Identify futuristic S&T areas for international competitiveness. We should identify some of the points which we can compete with the international community. We are infusing competition among the national laboratories, but we should identify some of the areas, some emerging areas where we can be a master, we can be a leader. So we should identify some of the areas where we can be a leader. Then pursue the technology development in the area of identify the technology vision 2035 by TIFAC. TIFAC has identified some of the futuristic technology in 2035 vision document. You can read that and then try to do some research work on these emerging areas. Then how we can have a win-win situation here. Collaboration provide the industry an opportunity to grow in the business by using the result of academic research. And how the academic institutions are benefiting? Academic institution is a need an industry partner to take their discovery to the marketplace. The academic institution should have an industry partner. Industry should also support some basic research. At present, they are doing their in-house R&D and all this, but they should also support the research and development across the country. Lab should involve industry from the beginning in the technology development process. Why it is? Because unless you have the industry partner from the beginning itself, he knows ins and out about what is going on. And then accordingly, the technology developed by that forum will be taken speedily to the market level. So that is why there should be technology involvement in the beginning. Academic and research organizations should take the challenge of industry-specific problems. We should identify what are the industry people, they are facing some problems, they are not getting some product and they are importing some of the product. So we can develop these products indigenously. Laboratory should provide the access to their facility for utilization by the industry. These three, near about 10 to 8 points will definitely strengthen the collaboration and break the silos. Now finally, I have few suggestions for CSIR lab. Every CSIR lab should have a value addition center, because as already mentioned by me, whatever the research output is coming from the laboratory, they are not ready to deploy to the market. So unless we have a value addition center, what we can do, whatever the results are coming from the CSIR lab, we can collate all this research output and then send it to the value addition center. they will do everything to make it marketable. If there is something missing there, it is working in laboratory but not in the field. So they should take over all these things, and then that will be definitely going to the market. So we should have, that means each laboratory should have a value addition center. All the CSR scientists should be mandated to work in the allied industry for at least 3 years as a part of the career progression. They should send at least for 3 years to the concerned industry and make it as a part of their career, that means career progression. CSR lab should invite the industry expert also to have a hand-on experience, and they can deliver lecture here to the scientist what they are actually doing there and what is the requirement, their requirement. And CSR lab should also take some industry-driven research. All those test facility of CSR should be open to industry and academic institution on the nominal pay basis. CSR should keep at least 500 crores per year as an in-house technology commercialization fund spreading across the lab for facilitating this process, commercialization process. Each lab should map the imported technology, as already mentioned. Each lab should map the imported technology in their sector and develop this technology in the mission mode in collaboration with industry, academia partnership to become an Atmanirbhar in those technologies. We have a NRDC, that is the National Research Development Corporation, is already there. Their mandate is to commercialize the indigenous technology, but they are a little bit diverting. So what needs to be done? That NRDC needs to be strengthened or create an autonomous body called National Council for Technology Commercialization to speed up the research translation to marketable technology. NRDC and technology transfer of each R&D organization should work as a hub and spoke model. All central scientific ministry should infuse 1% of their budget for commercialization of their technology, because the commercialization is, as rightly mentioned by the Prime Minister, this is the weak area, commercialization. We are good in doing research work, but translation of research work into the scalable technology is missing. If required, CSR can also link with the banking system like Mudra Bank or IDBI for taking loan for commercialization of technology. CSR may look into the global good practice and technology transfer policy of Department of Space and Department of Technology. They have very good transfer policy, Department of Atomic Energy as well as the Department of Space. So we should take the example as a good practice and then try to implement that policy here in all the CSR labs. Technology which are ready for transfer may provide it to the new startup at subsidized rate in comparison with the established industry. What we are doing, we are giving to the established industry. But in order to boost up our startup or encourage them, we should provide this, whatever the technology you have, to the startup. They can work on it, they can value add on that particular technology with some subsidy. Because जब तक आप subsidy देंगे, they will not be able to boom. And we should also appoint some nodal officer for interaction with industry, startup, for regular industry meet to assess the need of industry as well as the facilitate better interaction with CSIR institution. So I think this forum is important, and I think CSR laboratories has done a lot of work, but they are not able to showcase, and this is the platform. I think CSR Lab has filed near about 13,000 patents, and that it creates near about 100 startups and generate 15,000 jobs. CSR also launched some She Start initiative to promote and support the women-led startup and SMEs in the country. Initiative provides the funding, mentoring and R&D support to the women entrepreneurs. So there are so many things we can do, that means the CSR lab can do. So they can help us, help the startup and SMEs in technology development, knowledge sharing, incubation facility, funding support, then collaborative research, technology transfer, training and workshop, and also create awareness about the IPR support. And they should also provide support on testing and certification, because unless their product is certified, they will not be able to marketable. So networking and collaboration should also be there. So all these examples highlights the significant role of CSR lab in supporting the growth and development of startup and MSMEs in the country. As desired by Prime Minister, CSR lab should act as a catalyst for fueling the growth of Indian startup and MSMEs by providing funding, mentoring, R&D facilities and expertise. CSR lab can help the country to create a thriving startup ecosystem in the country. I think with this word, I thank to me for giving these opportunities, and I must give all the best to this particular industry meet. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for appreciating this campaign on behalf of Niti Aayog and also motivating us to focus the R&D for social issues. And we also appreciate you for sharing the hurdles the startups are facing and providing a unique perspective to CSIR labs as a solution to it. Thank you, sir. I am honored to introduce you all to our chief guest, Shri Chetan Prakash Jain. Shri Chetan Prakash Jain has assumed the charge of the post of Chairman and Managing Director, Central Electronics Limited on 7th April 2021. He is an officer of Indian Railway Personnel Service, IRPS, of 1994 UPSC Civil Services Examination Batch. He did his graduation and post-graduation in botany from Hansraj College, Delhi University, securing first position, and completed his MPhil from DU before joining the service. He went on to complete his LLB from KC Law College, Mumbai, winning the gold medal for highest marks in the first year of LLB. He has also done MBA from FMS, New Delhi with distinction. He has undergone various prestigious training programs such as Human Resources Management and Development at Institute of Public Administration, Victoria, Canada, Tax Administration and Revenue Forecasting at Duke University, USA, Strategic Human Resource Management at IIM Ahmedabad, India, Strategic Management Program at ISB Mohali, India. He has vast experience in HR, administrative and financial matters, and has held important positions at divisional and headquarter level in railways, followed by a stint as Executive Director in Railway Board and later as General Manager HR in RVNL, a Schedule A PSU of Ministry of Railways. He has also served as Director, Appointments Committee of Cabinet in DOPT, and then as member, Staff Selection Commission. Based on his varied experience in the field, he has also been appointed to serve as member, Prasar Bharati Recruitment Board. Since 19th October 2020, he is serving as Joint Secretary and Financial Advisor in Department of Science and Industrial Research and CSIR, Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India. I humbly request our chief guest, Shri Chetan Prakash Jain, to kindly come up and motivate us with your words of inspiration.
Respected Dr. Guha, Dr. Ashok, Sri Shaw, Professor Venugopal ji, students, researchers, friends from industries, my colleagues from Central Electronics Limited, and CSIR. A very warm good morning to all of you. CSIR, as you all know, is Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, Innovation Engine of India, a premier research and development organization of Government of India, and has 37 various very premier R&D labs and institutes all across India. NPL is one of the earliest one and one of the most premier ones. This is a moment of great pride for my team from Central Electronics Limited, who are seated here in the second row, and me in particular, in my capacity as Chairman and Managing Director, Central Electronics Limited, to be present here on this occasion of inauguration of MSME Industry and Startup Meet event for 3 days beginning today. As you all know and has been pointed out earlier by Professor Venugopal and other speakers, that 1 week, 1 lab concept is the brainchild of our Honorable Minister, Dr. Jitendra Singh Ji, which has been crystallized, given shape by Honorable Secretary DSIR and first woman DG of CSIR, Dr. Kalai Selvi Ji, which is actually being executed all across CSIR labs by stalwarts like Professor Venugopal here. Thank you very much, sir, for this opportunity and this function. We as in Central Electronics Limited have a great history, great association with NPL, as rightly pointed out by Professor Venugopal in his inaugural welcoming address. It was some electronic component production division of NPL, which I think is working on ferrites production and characterization. From this ferrite and ceramic division, R&D head, Dr. T.V. Ramamurthy, is closely associated with CEL even now, as his date of birth, that is 26th January, is being celebrated in CEL as annual day every year, sir. So we cherish our memories with NPL. And CEL, as I continue my address, all of us would know that NPL has given birth to CEL, and CEL has reached certain heights, which gives us inspiration to all the industries, to all the startups, to all the micro industries, small sector industries, that they can also grow big in association with laboratories, national laboratories like NPL and others. I would also take this opportunity to introduce Central Electronics Limited to one and all present here. Central Electronics Limited is a central public sector enterprise under Department of Scientific Industrial Research, created from idea generated by NPL, finally founded on 26 January 1974. We have 4 verticals. We got the name and the fame and visibility because of our solar vertical. We were the first ones to make solar cell. We were the first ones to implement solar plant. And if you recall, Prime Minister Modi's address on 24th of April 2022 on the occasion of National Panchayati Divas, I'll tell you the incident. CEL was able to install and operationalize a 500 kilowatt solar plant in Palli, in Jammu, Palli Panchayat of Jammu, in just 18 days. And Prime Minister Modi ji complimented CEL by saying that हमारे यहाँ 18 से 20 दिन तो किसी फाइल को दिल्ली से जम्मू जाने में लग जाते हैं, लेकिन आज एक यहाँ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जिसने 18 दिनों में एक 500 किलोवाट का सोलर प्लांट ऑपरेशनलाइज कर दिया है. So we take great pride in CEL making that effort and operationalizing Prime Minister Modi ji's vision on carbon-free, carbon-neutral village Palli in Jammu. The second vertical is smart security solutions. We deal in installing CCTVs in various areas in Delhi, various institutions, government buildings, etc. We would also be happy to know that we are into smart classes project, and we have made virtual smart classrooms in almost like 789 schools of Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and a project is also going on in Himachal Pradesh. We would also be happy to share that the Ram Janmabhoomi Mandir in Ayodhya, the security perimeter is being installed under CEL supervision. Deen Dayal Port Trust, we are actively engaged in solving their problem of entry and exit of trucks, etc., which has sped up their turnovers drastically. Other than the solar and SSG, we are very big player in railway vertical. We are basically into railway safety device called digital Excel counters. There are 3 verticals there: single section, high availability, and multi-section digital Excel counter working on electromagnetic sensors. CEL has association not only with NPL, but also with other institutes, other departments of Government of India. In fact, our railway vertical, these products are result of technology, PAXA technology, PAXA collaboration with Department of Scientific Industrial Research. And we have developed that technology in coordination with DSIR and are now developing it further for better use in railways. If we talk of association of NPL with railways, I'm given to understand that NPL is also working on various laser and optical sensors. It would be a good idea if we can collaborate that and showcase that to maybe DMRC with Delhi Metro, with whom we have a MOU for Make in India. We have also developed a system called Broken Rail Detection System, which is based on electromagnetic sensor. I would be happy to see if laser and optical sensors can play a part there. There is also a need and demand for intrusion detection system, where also I think optical and laser can play a big role. The other thing that was coming to our mind when we were discussing the other day on possible collaboration with NPL and CL, DMRC is looking for possibility of optical sensor for their tachometer applications and direction of the moving rolling stock, and are integrated with their signaling equipment. This is a fail-safe equipment, and they are currently being imported all from Europe and are becoming difficult to source. So if somehow NPL can collaborate and develop this, that would be a huge, huge relief which in this tachometer applications, and see production partner for NPL in that regard. Coming to defense businesses, as Professor Venugopal said that CEL came, sorry about that. CEL came to, took its life, was germinated on as an idea emanating from NPL, but later, as he said, we became famous on account of other things like maybe solar, etc. You would be happy to know that though solar gave us that visibility that every one of you may be knowing, it is the technology, it is that ferrite product which gave birth to CEL as an idea. It is that which is, in fact, today also sustaining CEL, sir. That has given business of almost like next 2 years we are targeting almost like 80 to 100 crore of business only from this defense business, of which this ferrite would be a major component. This is used in various phase control modules, passive antenna system in radars, missiles. We also have one technology from other CSIR lab, NAL, Drishti transmissometer systems. So not only we help running trains safely, we as CEL also contribute to safe landing and takeoff of airlines by installing this Drishti transmitter system across various airports of India. So we have business opportunities, we have technology sharing opportunities with NPL, mainly in defense and railways, which we would like to take further and improve further for better utilization for entire rail industry, defense industry and many other industries wherever these things can be put. Now coming to this particular event which we are organizing today, let me also highlight some of the achievements of Central Electronics Limited over the last 3 years. With cooperation from our colleagues from various CSIR labs, one being Professor Venugopal from NPL, and other labs like NAL, CSIO, DSIR, Department of Atomic Energy, Department of Defense, DRDO, Bharat Electronics Limited, etc. CEL has been giving very fantastic performances over the years, and in the last 3 years, I am very happy to share that continuously for last 3 years, we have been in the profits around 25 crores each year. And also, let me also tell you and share with you that Central Electronics Limited, which came out of idea from NPL, is a debt-free company and not in red, as many people had that kind of an idea. So even with the threat of disinvestment looming over us, we have been able to keep our employees' morale high. We have been able to make sure that we are there in the systems, in railways, in defense, and are able to serve the country in the most befitting manner. This activity, this 1 week, 1 lab, and this is MSME industry and startup initiative meet, I'm given to understand that it will be a 3-day program starting today, and various initiatives, various activities, various events like inaugural talks by eminent industrialists, detailed one-on-one discussions among researchers and industrialists, and a showcase of advanced technologies by NPL are on the agenda. During this period, it is also expected that a wide range of activities, maybe including R&D conclave, metrology conclave, women in STEM, skill conclave, lab visits, and science exhibitions for school and college kids have been planned. And this is with the aim to create a network aimed at increasing youth knowledge and skills and creating network between academia and industry for positive collaboration. Coming to end of my speech, I would like to address this August gathering of students, researchers, academia, industrialists, that you are the ones who push the boundaries of what is possible. You are the problem solvers. You are the original creators. You are the visionaries. Your work has the power to change the world, to make it a better, more sustainable, and more connected place. As we face unprecedented challenges in 21st century, from COVID-19 pandemic to climate change, we need your skills and expertise more than ever. We need engineers and technocrats to design and build sustainable infrastructure, innovators to develop new technologies that can solve complex problems, and technologists to create digital solutions that can connect people and resources around the globe. So to all of you, the engineers, students, innovators, and technologists out here, we thank you for your tireless work and dedication to improving our world. Let us continue to collaborate, innovate, and create with a shared vision of more just, sustainable, and connected future. But remember, as you work to develop new innovations, new technologies, take efforts to take technologies from labs to industry to society, we all must remember that they should serve as tools to enhance our humanity, not replace it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your very thought-provoking ideas. It was so mesmerizing to know from you that NPL has given birth to CEL, and the seed was implanted as long back as 1974. And we appreciate the commendable efforts of CEL in delivering the visions within small time frames, and also bringing forth the need and demand of technology where NPL can contribute. It was a pleasure to hear you, sir. This time, I would like to request our Director NPL to kindly felicitate our Chief Guest, Shri Chetan Prakash Jain, by presenting him a shawl as a token of gratitude. We feel truly privileged to have someone as respected and accomplished as you amongst us today, sir. Thank you for being such a significant part of today's event, sir. I request the Director NPL to kindly felicitate our guest of honor, Dr. Ashok A. Sonkosare, by presenting him a shawl as a symbol of our gratitude. We are truly fortunate to have someone of your standing and expertise here, sir. Thank you, sir, for gracing this occasion. I request the Director NPL to kindly felicitate our guest speaker, Shri S.K. Shaw, by presenting him a shawl as a token of appreciation. Thank you, sir, for your inspiring presence and for the wonderful presentation. I request the Director NPL to kindly felicitate a guest speaker, Dr. Mriganshu Guha, by presenting him a shawl as a symbol of our gratitude. Thank you, sir, for your empowering influence in today's event. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir, for doing the honors. Now we have come to this momentous occasion where we will witness 3 epic milestones today. 1 transfer of technology, 1 MOU to be signed, and 1 BND to be released. So the time has come. So the first in sequence, we will observe the release of BND, Bharatiya Nirdeshak Dravya. This BND is in collaboration with reference material producer Global PT Provider Private Limited, New Delhi, and CSIR-NPL. Indian reference materials are certified reference materials, trademarked and registered by CSIR as Bharatiya Nirdeshak Dravya, BND, for self-reliance and to support the testing and calibration laboratories for quality assurance at par with international standards. I invite the RMP team, Global PT Provider Private Limited, Mr. Umesh Gupta, CEO, Mr. Sahil Gupta, RM Coordinator, Mr. Sai Charan Maji, Testing Engineer, Mr. Asim Dash, Manager QA, and CSIR team members, Dr. VN Singh, Dr. SSK Titus, Dr. SP Singh, Dr. Vipin Jain, Dr. Nahar Singh. Global PT Provider is an ISO 17034 accredited reference material producer and is India's first and only RMP to produce certified reference materials and reference materials for engineering properties such as hardness, tensile strength, and ultrasonic pulse velocity. It also produces quality control materials for chemical composition of metals, ores, and minerals, building materials at very reasonable rates. It aspires to boost the Make in India program, harmonize the country's quality infrastructure, and manufacture RM and CRMs which are adept and can replace the need to import and encourage the campaign. The BND is being released under the engineering properties category hardness, Rockwell Hardness B scale 91 HRBW BND 2203. This BND is the Indian certified reference produced by RMP Global PT Provider Private Limited. These CRMs are intended to test and verify the HRC indentation hardness testing machine following IS 1586 P1, ISO 65081 ASTM E18. This BND will aid the entire Indian industry, which has long struggled with traceability concerns, and introduce more Indian reference materials, effectively lowering the price for Indian laboratories. Let us put our hands together as the BND has been released by our esteemed dignitaries. Thank you so much, the teams from both sides, RMP team and CSIR-NP team, for your efforts and our esteemed dignitaries for doing the honors. Can we also have a huge round of applause for the RMP team and the CSIR-NPL team for helping us to execute it today at this very moment. The next in sequence, we have the MOU, that is between CSIR-NPL and Distronics Kolkata on joint development of smart noise tracker for noise monitoring and e-sound limiter for noise control. The signing of MOUs will foster a mutually beneficial partnership between two leading organizations to achieve greater success. The noise pollution due to loudspeakers, public address systems has been a persistent source of nuisance to the society. In past 2 years, there have been many political issues on loudspeakers and on noise pollution generated in some states of India like Maharashtra, UP, etc. West Bengal and Tripura have made mandatory and compulsory the installation of noise limiters. A recent verdict of National Green Tribunal has clearly recommended the government of Delhi to issue appropriate gazette notification for mandatory installation of sound limiters in audio system and public address system. I invite the CSIR-NPL team as well, Dr. Naveen Garg, Dr. Chitra Gupta, Dr. Neeta Bilawal Sharma, Acoustic and Vibration Standards CSIR-NPL, and the Distronics team, Mr. Rohit Sarkar and Mr. Rahul Sharma. CSIR-NPL and Distronics Kolkata have planned to work in collaboration under the collaborative project on design and development of smart noise tracker for noise monitoring and e-sound limiter for noise control. It is envisaged that the development of this product shall provide a technological solution for reducing the noise pollution in the country and associated health hazards. The system shall be useful for State Pollution Control Board officers and police officials of a specific district or region for viewing of real-time violation reports of the e-sound limiter within their jurisdiction. Let us all put our hands together for this promising collaboration for societal benefit. I congratulate the team members of CSIR-NPL and Distronics as the MOU has been open for the benefit of the society. The next we have is the transfer of technology. The technology being transfers is 6-stage bioaerosol air sampler and sampling probe for BFE testing of mask. A mask testing setup design is developed for particle and bacterial filtration efficiency testing, PFE and BFE, and breathability testing of half-face mask. The setup comprised of aerosol sampling system in which aerosols and bacterial particles entered from aerosol generation and conditioning units. For filtration efficiency test of mask, aerosol sampling system has a provision to measure particle concentration before, that is upstream, and after, that is downstream, the object and mask under test. A 6-stage bioaerosol sampler is designed to test bacterial filtration efficiency of mask types. This sampler has novel design and can be used for bioaerosol sampling in ambient air simultaneously for both particle mask and colony counting units. The differential pressure across the out can also be measured using this design. The aerosol sampling system can also be reconfigured to test whole mask types such as N95, etc. for particle filtration efficiency using mask holding enclosure unit. I congratulate the CSIR-NPL in transferring this technology to Envirotech Instruments Private Limited, Delhi. Can we have our hands together for Shri S.K. Gupta, Shri Ashish Gupta, Dr. Balbir Singh from Envirotech Instruments Private Limited, Delhi, and CSIR team, Dr. Shankar G. Agarwal, Mr. Prashant Patel, Mr. Baban Kumar, Dr. Ken Singh, Dr. Daya Soni. Thank you for our esteemed dignitaries for doing this honor. And we believe that the dissemination of this innovation technology is truly going to be for the societal benefit. And for doing the honors for these 3 milestones, we would like to appreciate and acknowledge our guests by presenting them a memento. I request the students to kindly come forward. I request our Director NPL to kindly felicitate and thank and appreciate our esteemed dignitaries for doing the honors. We thank you, sir, for helping us release these 3 milestones, that is an MOU and a BND and also technology transfer. We also thank our guest of honor for being a part of this celebration today. We also thank and appreciate our guest speaker, Shri S.K. Shah. We also thank Dr. Mriganshu Guha for being a part of this event. Now it is time to hear some renowned industrial leaders who will not only educate us, but also inspire and empower us. So the first in series, I would like to call on Mr. Raghuveer Reddy, Surya Scientific Solutions, to kindly come up on stage and share your experience with us. I humbly request Mr. Raghuveer Reddy, Surya Scientific Solution, to kindly come up on stage. By the time he is being available in the auditorium, I would like to call on Shri M.S. Antal, Pharmaphysiates, Analytics and Synthetics Private Limited, Panchkula, to kindly come up and share your experience with us. I request the volunteers to kindly help them to reach this auditorium, because I suppose they are in the hangar right in front of the auditorium. Okay. We have Mr. Raghuveer Reddy amongst us, so we invite you on the stage. He's from Surya Scientific Solutions. Can we have a huge round of applause for him?
Good morning to all of you. This is my first time to speak on a large audit. Thank you, sir. And I am coming running here. That is my company, Surya Scientific Solutions. I was running my business of importing and selling a CRM secondary standard. I used to import polystyrene calibration film. One day I was discussing with my father. He is my father and mother. He pinched me why we are not making it in India. This standard making has started because of his thought. And he is source of my all funding. He speaks a lot. He inspires me. So within a half an hour after his discussion with me, I wrote to Prime Minister's office for grievance letter, a 20-line letter to PM office, replied after 6 months. Then this program of making polystyrene standard in India started. It was a huge struggle. In 2016 it has started, 2018 it is finished, and it is being marketed also. Now I have the technology transfer with me, and I'm struggling to make it in pilot level, means in a huge production range. So there are practical problems because of government has restricted importing of polystyrene, and lab scale of instruments for extruders are also not available. So I am making my own one. There is a lot of support needed for production at MSMEs. There is no knowledge, there is no support from industry also. From industry means industry is really making money. They want only money. Dignitaries were saying that industry is not investing money into research. That is true. And they are making only money. For me, lab level scale of extruder is not possible to get in India. I have to import it again. A Korean company is making a non-profit, a poor country like some unknown, like we have to say, in the technology field. They are making a lab level scale extruder, but in India, nobody is showing interest to give me a lab level extruder. So I went into a local market, a layman after, we have to say, no knowledge of what is extruder, means scientific applicable. He has given me suggestions to buy some spare parts. He made one smallest one for me, extruder. And for die making, I have to write it to thousands of companies, and we have to say plastic associations of corresponding states has not responded me, even after writing to them. One company, see, Kirti Technologies, has responded to me. He is also age old. Only on his experience he has supported me again. Here you can understand that where are our organizations? Didn't I consulted them? I consulted them. CPET. Being known to the technology, they say it is not their job. CPET and CSIO, Scientific Instruments Organization, Chandigarh. They didn't even responded. They responded, but they could not understand what I am asking. That is a serious thing I could not bring anywhere. Like this, it cannot progress. Any MSME trying to bring new technology, import substitutes for the thousands of crores of rupees, MSMEs cannot survive. Enthusiastic scientists, young people who are sitting there, they are not knowing the society's needs really. How many crores we are importing certified reference materials is not known to many of us. 600 crores to 700 crores only CRMs we are importing. Only importing. 600 crores means Dhawan sir was saying we can run universities on our own from a single institute of NPL. If NPL starts to make all the CRMs or BNDs required for India, that is a huge revenue. So I request all of you to think of making your own product which is necessary for our own India. Don't hesitate, that is not our job. It is not always a white collar job to do and sit inside. I am making a polystyrene which is plastic. I am an electronics student. I know only solid state physics. No chemistry knowledge. I understood the paper, read it, struggling to make it, struggling to understand what are the traceabilities. We have a huge gap between all scientific world. We have no proper communication. We don't know what is NMI initially. Now we are talking about NMI. Please understand that our responsibilities are not limited to our own family or like friends or our job. Just it is our India. Please think about it. India needs lot many things. We are going on importing. To say we are importing needles from China. Don't we have technology? That is the thing, but my father initiated me to make it in India, and NPL has made it successful for me, and I have to say great thanks for this organization. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you to you all. One request was at the end of this presentation. It was already told what we need as an industry. The technology transfer should include funding of banks should be educated. Banks are illiterate. They compared my project with a kirana shop. They say that it is not visible anything, like product is not visible, raw material is not visible. They cannot understand that. That is a serious thing. All the regulatory bodies should follow physical standards produced by National Physical Laboratory, because I see some of the B&Ds are recently developed. They are not in the standards organizations, not mentioned. Regulatory bodies, FSSAI, their BIS is there, NABL is there. They are not knowing what are the standards to follow. Indian Pharmacopoeia, they will write their own SOP to test and calibration. But whether that is produced in India, are we really, our NPL is mentioning that standard to be followed. That is not happened. All CSIR labs to work together, include developing and any product or project. Why I am writing is that labs work together. Till now, it was not written like CSIR before the NPL, before any CSIR laboratories. It was not written anywhere. They don't know. They felt like they are separate identity. Inquiries or queries or support needed from industry was not dispersed between the organizations like this. I request one central, sir, you spoke, Ashok sir, you spoke. 30% representation from industry was there, but it happened in between Corona time, like private organizations were included to produce vaccine for India. That time they were like spirited to produce, very much spirited to produce for India. But that was a national requirement. All are our national requirements, but at the small scale. Some small scale products are there. They are not identified. Nobody shows interest because of their low profit, because of their low profit making industry. Scientists are not showing interest to work with the industry because that is a small thing. To talk about one needle making needs a lot of machinery and lot of material knowledge. Needle, small needle needs a lot of material knowledge and lot of machinery. Who has to tell them what machinery, what material has to be used? Does a small company of needle making can employ a scientist? No. A plastic guy who is producing particular plastic cannot employ a scientist. How he can approach you? That is the thing. I am trying to approach, it is straight away denied. That is not my job. CPET does not make machines. At least transfer the knowledge of making a machine. Laymen are there. No educated, not at all educated people are able to make a machine there in the out market with experience. Being experienced, being educated, we are not representing the market. That is because of white collar job obsessed in our mind. This is because of parents, this is because of societal aspirations. Our children should not be troubled. Our children should be sitting in a white collar job. This is the kind of attitude we are putting into our children. Please come out of this one. Children, young mind should not be hesitant to do a hard work. I have to go around the market to try and get a machine made in my place. So my request is here, and my request is not yet completed, sir. Make a one central body who can take industry requirements and who can inspire the industry. From there we can disperse our Indian industry requirements to all our organizations. That is needed. So I'm closing myself here. I'm making polystyrene now. It may come soon in 6 months of time into the market. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your inspiring journey with us, how you started from the scratch and telling us your struggles and also the remedies to it. Now I would like to call on Shri M.S. Antal, Farm Affiliates, Analytics and Synthetics Private Limited, Panchkula, to kindly come up on stage and share your experience with us.
So, good morning all. I am Mahendra Singh Antal and representing Pharma Affiliates Analytics and Synthetics Private Limited at Panchkula. See, our journey started in the year 2001 when a technocrat, Dr. Ashok Sabharwal, started this company with the, first of all, a module of training. And then he switched over to synthesizing impurities of drugs, pharmaceuticals. See, the story goes like this. When he started the business, actually to finance that company, he approached few banks to get the loan. And then when those financing organizations asked, what is your business? He said, I shall be producing impurities of drugs. Actually, they were struck. They were quite surprised. Big companies, every organization talks of purity of drugs, and we are talking of synthesizing impurities. And nobody came forward to sanction the loan. That was the situation. Somehow the company progressed, and the core business was synthesizing impurities of drugs, which are qualified as reference materials, as standards. So that was the journey, and then we got the certifications of NABL 17025, then 17034. I think we were the second to get 17034 in India after Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission. So the journey continued, and then see how we came to NPL, and in the concept of BND, there's an incident where I asked the NIST, please, I need this standard. They say, sorry gentlemen, I don't have, approach your NMI. So that was the point when we came to know, okay, yes, NMI has a say in providing standards. So we just BND department to help us out. So we collaborated with NPL and in the BND project, and now on the way to produce BNDs for pharmaceutical APIs. The scope will further continue to add more and more APIs and impurities in that. So really an occasion to appreciate, okay, and the word NMI, I think that should be got familiarized with each and every industry. I think this concept is not reaching to the industry that what NMI means. And I also request to the dignitaries sitting on the dais, means this is the area where we should get this familiarization of NMI given to the industry in each and every field whatsoever. That is the importance of NMI, and also request NMI or BND department should join hands with industries to certify those raw materials as certified raw materials. The scope should be raised or extended to such an extent that if somebody says, I want this standard, NMI should say, here it is. That should be the approach. And that can take the India to any heights. So this is what I want to share. I thank you, and thanks so much to the NMI and to the BND project, the coordinators who have given us this guidance, and we are on the way to expand in this field. Thank you so much. So wish you all the best. Thank you. Okay, carry on. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your good wishes and your experience with us. Now I would like to call on Shri S.K. Gupta, Envirotech Instruments Private Limited, to kindly come up and share your experience with us. Due to a time foundation, to kindly speak for 3 to 4 minutes.
Respected Professor Venugopal ji, Professor Dr. Ashok, Dr. Jain, Goa Sahab and Shah Sahab, and other learned dignitaries in the audience. It's an honor for me to be amongst such a audience, august gathering, and I feel very honored to be amongst you. And I'm also very happy that today we have signed a technology transfer agreement with NPL. For us, it is the beginning of a new area of closer cooperation with NPL, and it's a step forward for us to fulfill our mission of developing indigenous capabilities in India for solving our problems. Friends, just to give you a brief introduction about Envirotech, because as they said, time is limited. We started about 40 years ago when Air Pollution Act was passed by the Indian Parliament, and industrial emission monitoring became mandatory, that everybody has to monitor their emissions and keep them under control. At that time, there were no instruments available in the country, and it looked very clear that without development of our own instruments and with our own manpower, it would not be feasible to implement the Air Pollution Act. So our mentor, late Professor G.D. Agarwal, emphasized and pushed all of us to this fact that we have to develop our own indigenous capabilities. So we took up this challenge at that time and started developing indigenous technologies and instrumentation for monitoring air pollution and air quality in the country. And after 40 years, I am very happy to say that we succeeded fairly well in this mission and have produced many firsts in the country. First of all, we produced India's system, which enabled the pollution control boards and industries to monitor their emissions and design appropriate air pollution control devices to reduce the pollutants. And we also, along with IIT Delhi, we set up a calibration facility at their wind tunnel to calibrate the vital component used in the system like pitot tubes. Later on, we realized that if we have to move forward, we'll have to develop closer relationships with leading experts in our national laboratories, and we took their close help in the development of instrumentation. We sponsored projects, acquired technologies, and worked very closely with them to develop unique, rugged, field-worthy, rugged instruments for the country. In 1990s, a decade later, we developed India's first PM10 sampler, which monitored respirable dust from the ambient air. This became the backbone of India's national ambient air monitoring program. And in this, we took the help of NIRI Nagpur, another CSIR lab, who developed a two-stage cyclonic separation technology. And this technology was so unique that it made the instrument very compact and very portable. And with the help of that, the instruments were used across the country, and today nearly 40,000 to 50,000 instruments of this design with CSIR technology are being used across the country and in the entire Indian subcontinent. Once again, a decade later, we produced India's, once again, first PM 2.5 sampler. And this was based on US EPA design, but later on it was certified by NIRI as conforming to US EPA design. And today, all the impactors used in these systems are certified by NPL at Delhi. Just imagine if these two systems were not there in the country at that time, what would have happened to our air quality data? Today, the entire data in the country is generated because of these two instruments. So this is a unique contribution by our CSIR laboratories and an industry interaction with them. Nowadays, increasing problems because of ultrafine particulates in the atmosphere, carcinogenic heavy metals, and foul odors. They are causing great concern to all of us. And once again, IIT Delhi, IIT Madras, and IIT Jodhpur, we have teamed up with them to produce heavy metal samplers, PM1 samplers, and these odor monitoring systems. All the systems are on display outside in our stall. You can have a look at those instruments. Very recently, COVID crisis came in 2020-21, and NPL along with our team developed this bacterial filtration efficiency setup, the technology of which has been formally transferred to us today. And this instrument will definitely ensure that the wearing of mask which has become mandatory, are they really effective in arresting the bacteria and viruses? So this is a very important requirement, that if you are using certain thing and getting an assurance that yes, this will protect your health, is it really going to protect your health? So this kind of a system which has been developed by NPL and which will be now produced commercially will be very useful in coming times. Country would very soon need because India is a very large country, and setting up of monitoring devices across the country are going to become very expensive. So there is a need to develop low-cost sensor-based systems which can be put up across the country to monitor pollution levels at all nooks and corners of the country. So IIT Delhi and IIT Madras were awarded a project under Uchitar Avishkar Yojana of MHRD, Government of India, and Envirotech has been an industry partner in this. So what we are trying to do in this project is that we are going to develop indigenous sensors within the country, not the systems, but the sensors within the country, which at the moment are currently imported from China and UK and European countries. So our effort is to develop indigenous sensors within the country. So that is the whole idea. And we have been very closely associated with NIRI, with NPL, right way back from 1990, when we first developed a smoke meter to monitor vehicle emissions from diesel-powered vehicles. It was based on Hartage model of USA. And in that system, people started asking how reliable is the measurement. So we developed a disk, calibration disk, which was certified by NPL at that time. And that instrument became so popular that it was a challenge to all the European manufacturers that yes, Indian instrument was only 1 lakh and other manufacturers from Europe and USA were selling for about 9 to 10 lakhs. So this is the contribution made by NPL at that time. Then in 1990s, when in the state of Madhya Pradesh, there are a lot of cement plants. They were all seeking extension of their capacities, but they were not getting permission from the pollution control boards or Ministry of Environment and Forest. So NPL there was a scientist called Dr. S.P. Singhal who used to work in the acoustic department, but he developed a monostatic sonar, a small device, and we took a joint project with him that why not we measure mixing heights to actually know what are the pollution buildup in different areas. So we took that study for 2 years in Rewa Satna area and assessed the mixing heights of that area and found that mixing height in that area is nearly 70 to 80 meters only, whereas the chimney heights of cement plants are 150 to 200 meters. So pollution load from the chimneys are not going to fall within the vicinity of, because of the mixing heights, low mixing heights. So buildup was within that 60 to 70 meters. And it was found out that yes, the buildup is because of the other low-level pollution sources, not because of cement plants. So this was the first scientific study took by Envirotech and NPL, which declared that cement plants should be given permission, and mixing height became a mandatory requirement in all our environmental impact assessment studies. And later on with Dr. Singhal, we also published a small book, Handbook of Air Pollution. And now recently, Government of India in 2018 or 19 has mandated that NPL will be a certifying body for all the air quality monitoring instruments to be used in the country. So we got our impactors certified or calibrated from NPL, and all our impactors used in our PM2.5 samplers are now based on that impactor certified by NPL. So this is a level of sort of assurance on the instruments. And as regards future collaboration with NPL, I would only suggest 2-3 things. That online monitoring has become mandatory, almost mandatory in India. Everybody is talking of online, real-time monitoring. Whether they make any use of the real-time data, that's a separate issue. But real-time monitoring has become almost mandatory in the country. So we need to develop online analyzers. We don't have those analyzers in India. They're all getting imported. We are spending crores of rupees on those. So we must develop online analyzers. And just now I heard that NPL has signed an MOU with Systronics to noise, or development of noise monitoring systems. And I would say that noise mapping is going to become a very important area in this country, because noise is a very big nuisance now in all the urban areas. And noise terminal installation, noise terminals and the data from which can be seen anywhere in the country are going to become a necessity. We must have noise terminals which can be installed in different market areas or very sources where noise is emanating. So this noise is going to be another area where NPL can work closely with the industry to develop expertise in that. And another area which I feel is very important is this calibration laboratories. This NABL is certifying NABL laboratory, NABL giving NABL certification to a large number of laboratories, whether they have capabilities or not. So I think NPL should take up very seriously this challenge to look at those laboratories, whether they are really having proper facilities, they have proper calibrators with them, they have proper manpower with them, and then only those NABL certification should be allotted to them. Otherwise, what is happening is that once you get an NABL, then whatever you give is all certified. This is very strange. Recently I am a member of Commission for Air Quality Management in Delhi. So I was asking that why not industry measure their own pollution? So I was told by the member secretary central board, no, industry is not authorized to monitor air pollution on their own. They have to only get it done through a NABL approved laboratory. So whether that NABL approved laboratory gives the correct value or not, who knows? But if I have to know about my pollution, then I have to do it myself. So I must have facility within my own industry to do monitoring myself. I must do it repeatedly. Only then I will know the anomalies of my process. Only then I will be able to see the efficiency of my control systems. And consultant will come for an hour and half an hour. What can he advise me? Nothing. So I think we have to switch over from this certification business to developing understanding. And there the role of organization like NPL and CSIR laboratories is very, very vital. So I think this is all what I wanted to convey, and I wish to convey my deepest gratitude and appreciation to all the scientists working in our national laboratories. They are doing a great job, and we also all learned that we have to believe in them. Sometimes we don't believe in them, so we have to start learning to believe in them, and keep on doing our dharma, that do good to all, and let's hope that with this we'll develop self-confidence, self-reliance, and attain our Atmanirbharta. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for developing such impactful technologies for the country and for conveying your valuable suggestions to NPL. Now I would like to call on Mr. Umesh Gupta, CEO, Global PT Provider, to kindly come up on stage and share your valuable experience with us. I also humbly request our speakers to kindly restrict yourself for 3 to 4 minutes because we are...
So good morning to all. Myself Umesh Gupta from Global PT. So NPL has given me this opportunity. I'm thankful to get NPL. So I started off my career in 1997 with a testing laboratory. So during my testing experience, I faced a lot of challenges for the CRM, Certified Reference Materials. So once we are going for accreditation, we need to have a traceability. So traceability was missing in my initial stage of my career. So 2012, I asked my MD where I was working, I don't want to work in the lab now. So he told, why do you don't want to work in the lab? All the time we are facing it, CRMs are not available, RM is not available, proficiency is not available. Then he asked me, what do you want to do? I just want to start my own company with the proficiency, to produce a homogeneous material to conduct a proficiency testing. So he told me, okay, you can continue with the job and you can start this company also. I was very lucky enough. Like my previous speaker told, there are bank loans and other problems. I didn't have any problem related to finance. So he told me, you start this company with a 50% shareholding, and 50% share is with the parent company. So I agreed to that, and I started my career for producing a homogeneous material. I haven't tried for the CRM or RM, but to create a homogeneous material to conduct inter-laboratory comparisons. So gradually, once I started this activity, so I thought of doing the producing RM, reference material. And 2016, I approached NPL with the simple, Director NPL, Dr. Aswal was there at that time, for the traceability issues. I just came to NPL to address the traceability issues. So Dr. Aswal told me, wait for some time, we will come up with something. And then the activity BND started. In 2017, we made a MOU with the NPL related to address the traceability issues. So till now, we have produced around about 12 BNDs, and around about 10 BNDs are in the pipeline. So NPL guiding us and helping us, and even out of the way also they are helping to produce some certain homogeneous material to utilize their facilities. I am really thankful to BND team for giving me this opportunity to speak about my experiences. That is all what my experience towards my life is. That's all. Thank you. Thanks to NPL.
Your encouraging journey with us, and for also cherishing the strong bond with NPL since 2016. Now I would like to call on Mr. Rohit Sarkar from Distronics to kindly come up and share your industry experience with us. Mr. Rohit Kumar from Distronics.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, dignitaries on the dais, Professor Venugopal, Mr. Shaw, Mr. Jain, Dr. Ashok, Dr. Goa, friends in the audience here. So I'll just give a brief introduction on who we are, what we are doing, and how we are associated with NPL, being this is our first association. So we as a company, Distronics, has been working in the field of industrial IoT when it comes to sensor manufacturing, telematics, instruments for the last 7 odd years. So fairly young. We have deployed over 40,000 industrial and IoT endpoints, so Internet of Things, IoT endpoints in India and the globe. Primarily, this has been in the various verticals from predictive maintenance, supply chain, track and trace, robotics, you name it, we have done it. The world's largest chocolate company, the world's largest beverage company, they're all customer to us. So not only do we serve India, we serve the globe from India. Primarily, then came around a time when we got interested into environmental monitoring, primarily related to noise. We felt that was an area that was untouched, and like my previous speaker already said, something that was being completely imported. So I was kind of a flag bearer when it comes to indigenization, the negative import list, the positive indigenization list, working with the defense sector. We were kind of pushing on those terms for the last couple of years. Having said that, we saw that there was a need and requirement when it comes to building products here in order to not only make it indigenization per se just for the sake of it, but also make these products viable, scalable, and something that I call it is make it Indianized, because not all products imported from different parts of the world, mostly the Western parts, are really suited for the Indian environment as it is. So having said that, our interaction with NPL and NMI here is primarily started with simple calibration, that we approached NPL that, hey, can we get our instruments that we are trying to build at our labs to get them calibrated. And then we understood that how we can easily leverage the research capabilities, the lab capabilities of NPL and the technology that already there is, couple it with our engineering expertise and kind of deliver products for the market, not only in India, but across. So having said that, the MOU that we have signed today is primarily to do with an instrument which could help towards clamping down on noise pollution in India. So typical surveys in India say that that 15 largest cities in India has noise pollution levels which are 50% higher than the national standard. So we as citizens living in the metros, we are exposed to much higher noise levels than what our health is supposed, or what international standards and even national standards are. So having said that, the Honorable NGT has come up with various orders, propositions in which these can be clamped down on. But those mostly, again, as rightly said by my speakers before and teams by NPL, that they have been primarily on paper and not being implemented just because of the lack of indigenization technology in the country itself, because you can only so much depend on imported technology and implement at scale. So henceforth, we saw this as an opportunity to not only benefit the society as a whole in terms of noise pollution, but also go ahead with the Atmanirbhar Bharat program and kind of create this technology where the IPR is going to be in-house in India, may that be NPL, may that be private organizations. So keeping it short, so this is our first collaboration with NPL, but we definitely feel this is not going to be our last. Going forward, we hope to collaborate further for several other products, not only in the field of noise, but in other fields as well, where the research being borrowed or in the form of either co-development or technology transfer, and engineering being coupled by a smaller, medium-sized company where our scale or our capabilities to churn products around us a bit faster as compared to legacy units. I think all these two combined, we can churn out products in record time and also at quality with proper certification and standardizations for the Indian market, as well as I'm really looking for the export market as well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your experience and for such a fruitful and symbiotic collaboration with NPL. Now, as we have come to the end of this program, I would like to call on Dr. Shankar G. Agarwal, convener, Startup MSME Industry Meet, to propose a vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks for today's program. I think we have a very good progress and really meet the aim of this project, this program. So on behalf of the organizing committee of today's program of CSIR-NPL 1 Week, 1 Lab campaign, and on my own behalf, first of all, I would like to thank our chief guest, today's chief guest, MSME Industry Meet program, Shri Chetan Prakash Jain ji, for accepting our invitation and gracing this event. Thank you very much, sir. And from his talk and with our director's talk, we understand that how this CL originated and what they are doing and what the plan. So first time we came to know, especially myself. So thank you very much, sir. Then I would like to thank our guest of honor of today's program, Dr. Ashok Sonkusare ji. He accepted our invitation in very short time and graced this today's program. So thank you very much, sir. And we understand now the policies of the Niti Aayog, government policies, and you rightly said that how NPL or industry should work collaboratively, and make the contribute in the Make in India program. So thank you very much. I would like to thank our all guests from industries. They have shared their experiences of NPL collaboration And I also would like to thank our new collaborators with whom we signed MOU, also transferred the technology and released the BND. So we hope that our collaboration will fulfill the aim and motto of MSME Industry Meet. I would like to thank to all our guests present here from CL, industries, from academia, the young students who may be our next collaborator when they start their MSME industry or startups. I also want to thank all distinguished invited guests, dignitaries from CSIR headquarters and other labs and institute, media person for attending this event. Thank you very much. And I want to extend my generous thanks to our director, Professor Venugopal Achantaji, for his guidance, constant support and encouragement. Because of his guidance, we could manage this successful program of today's. So thank you very much, sir. I would like to thank all HODs, my NPL colleague, and ACSIR students for their active participation in this program. And I am thankful to our organizing team for their hard work to make this event successful. As the list is very long, it's difficult to name each and every one. And I also like to thank the support team in administration, accounts, finance, purchase store, KRC, IT, our IT team, auditorium, civil, electrical, horticulture, and HLS for their constant help and support for the execution of this program. Once again, thank you all for your help, and thank you to attend this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. At the end, I would conclude by quoting this famous dictum that coming together is just the beginning, but staying together is success. So ensuring all our new collaborators and the industrialists present here that this is just a new beginning towards a great success in future. So now I would like to request our honorable dignitaries to kindly proceed towards the front AR Verma lawn for the inauguration of the MPL Industry Meet exhibition. And I request all our dear participants and our industry leaders here to kindly stay back outside the auditorium for a group photograph. Thank you so much for being such a lovely audience.